Hi everybody and welcome once again to NJPW Strong. I'm Chris Charlton right here in the NJPW Event Center where we're counting down to December the 11th this Sunday and the Vermont Hollywood seeing the final NJPW Strong tapings of 2022. It's been a big year for NJPW in America, and with Battle in the Valley coming up in San Jose and the San Jose Civic in February, let's take a look back at what's been happening in big matches in the US and what's been happening on NJPW Strong. Matches from the Detonation series will be rounding out the year in NJPW Strong. Saturday nights having just seen the conclusion of the Showdown series, a series that was headlined in grandiose form as the first ever champion versus champion match in NJPW Strong took place. The Strong Openweight champion Fred Rosser taking on the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Switchblade Jay White. An incredible match that showed the skill sets of both men. Fred Rosser did not back down an inch from Jay White's offense and pushed the world champion extremely close to his limits. But even after surviving a suplex onto the apron, a Fred Rosser flosion, and a chicken wing crossface, wrestling's ultimate counterpuncher scored with the Blade Runner to pick up a victory, and then leave Fred Rosser to the Wolves, JR Kratos being nominated as Rosser's next challenger on behalf of Tom Lawler, calling in a filthy favor to the catalyst of professional wrestling. That's not the only title we'll see defended on NJPW Strong in the coming weeks, as the Motor City Machine Guns will be defending the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. Stray Dog Army, Barrett Brown, and Mysterioso recently came out on top of a wild tag team four-way match with the number one contendership status. And after Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin shocked the world in New York City by becoming the second Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, Stray Dog Army will be fighting to ensure that their reign is a short one. Meanwhile, the last several months have seen Team Filthy embroiled in a bitter feud with Homicide. Ever since the Notorious 187 and Tom Lawler butted heads at Autumn Action, Lawler has pursued Homicide, leading to a singles match during the Showdown series. Homicide came out on top and wanted to take to Tom Lawler with his signature fork after the match, only to be interrupted by Team Filthy member and former member of Homicide's LAX in Danny Limelight. That led to a singles bout this week on NJPW Strong, Homicide coming out on top with the Cop Killer. But it's clear that the Notorious 187's issues with Team Filthy are far from over. Post-match, none other than Bobby Fish hit the ring to attack Homicide on behalf of Team Filthy, and that will lead to a six-man tag team match at the Nemesis tapings December the 11th. Homicide enlisting Eddie Kingston and David Finlay to take on Tom Lawler's crew. It's a loaded lineup every single Saturday night, 8/7 Central on NJPW World for New Japan Strong. And a loaded lineup is sure to greet fans in San Jose at Battle in the Valley 2023 on February the 18th. NJPW's first major international event of the year sees us return to the San Jose Civic, and this year has proven that nobody does big cards better in the US than New Japan Pro Wrestling. Back in spring, we sold out in Chicago for Windy City Riot this April, and a main event with a controversial ending that saw Jon Moxley on top of Will Ospreay, despite a highly disputed 3 count. The very next month, Capital Collision hit Washington, D.C., where Moxley was part of an IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship 4-way, alongside Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Juice Robinson. And the then recently defecting to Bullet Club Juice got another pin in the United States over Will Ospreay in more controversial situations, as Will Ospreay had his foot underneath the bottom rope. By the next month in June, Will Ospreay was the IWGP United States Champion, albeit in disputed circumstances, and defended against Orange Cassidy in what was the spectacular event of the summer, New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW combining forces for Forbidden Door in Chicago, as Jay White survived his own four-way to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi fought to a spectacular conclusion. Then this past November, it was Rumble on 44th Street in New York City, an incredible main event that saw Switchblade Jay White and Kazuchika Okada get their Road to Wrestle Kingdom campaigns underway. Jay White emerged on top that night, but will the same hold true in the Tokyo Dome on January 4th, 2023? And will he be the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, or will it be Kazuchika Okada? When NJPW brings you Battle in the Valley on February the 18th in San Jose. What an incredible year it's been on NJPW Strong. Make sure you're there for what will be a very, very special night in the Vermont, Hollywood, December the 11th. Headline, Jay White and El Phantasmo taking on Hikuleo and Alan Angels, the return of Kenta, Jeff Cobb versus Bad Dude Tito, and so much more. We want you to be a part of that fantastic action and atmosphere that only NJPW Strong provides. And then, of course, we turn into February 2023, and the first major international event for New Japan Pro Wrestling in the new year will be February the 18th. We're back in the San Jose Civic for Battle in the Valley. It's going to be a tremendous event that you need to be a part of. Tickets, njpw1972.com and Ticketmaster. And of course, we cannot talk about 2023 without talking about Wrestle Kingdom 17. The Tokyo Dome on January the 4th will see the Antonio Inoki Memorial Spectacular. It will see Kazuchika Okada challenging Jay White for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It will see Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega colliding one-on-one, Kai versus Tam Nakano, and so much more. Next time on NJPW Extra, we're going to be breaking down all the big matches January the 4th, 2023 at the Tokyo Dome. Don't you dare miss NJPW Extra next. Until then, Goki Genyo, sayonara.